guys, so I am just doing some school planning. I just got back from a Target pickup. I have a bunch of stuff for 5 in a row for the upcoming school year, and I just wanted to do a little 5 in a row plan with me. I have promised this to you guys for a long time, but what I decided to share with you guys was a full semester of planning versus just a single unit. And I might do some single unit like videos coming up, but for the start of the school year, for our first 12-week term, what I wanted to do was plan out all of our books for before 5 in a row for my 3-year-old, and then 5 in a row for my boys who are in 1st and 4th grade, as well as gather as many of the supplies that I didn't already have on hand or aren't food related or things that I would just already have around the house. I wanted to gather those up and keep them in a bin. So today I'm just gonna show you little clips over the last couple of weeks as I prepare for the upcoming school year and do a preliminary semester of planning. Obviously when it gets down to the weeks before I do a particular unit, then I kind of dive in a little deeper and tie up any loose ends, but this is how I plan for the upcoming semester ahead. One thing I want to mention is just how we're doing 5 in a row this year. First of all, if you're not familiar with 5 in a row, I'll put a video up here, which is a flip through. At the time that I did that flip through, we were just doing it once a week, but it's changed over the years. I've loved 5 in a row since my oldest was 3. That was the first curriculum we ever used, and we have tried to consistently use it for all of our kids here and there throughout their journey through education. So this upcoming school year, I am planning to do 5 in a row with my boys 2 to 3 days a week, while my daughter does some of her independent middle school subjects, leaving a couple of days of the week available to help them with any other subjects that they weren't able to do from their independent work, kind of like office hours. So some days we'll do 5 in a row, some days we won't. And then for my preschooler, my 3-year-old will use before 5 in a row nearly every day. And I plan to just rotate through books every 2 weeks. So because we're only doing it 2 to 3 days a week, that means we'll get 5 or 6 days of 5 in a row per book over the course of 2 weeks. And this is just a supplement. This is just kind of like a heart subject, not necessarily we don't do it to hit their core subjects like the curriculum is designed to be, but it's just something that we've loved doing for so long that it's just good for all of us to dig in a little deeper and do a little bit of a unit study approach for some beloved books. So that being said, I'm going to flip you around and show you, well, first I'll show you some of the planning over the last couple of weeks, and then I'll show you what I grabbed at Target, and then I'll piece it all together for you. So if you like this video and you want to see more 5 in a row content, give it a thumbs up and let's get to it. All right, so we just got home from church and I'm just sitting down to do some planning here. A few weeks ago I sat down and planned out our first term will go to here. This will be our first 12 weeks. It might go over just a little bit, which is why I only picked 1 book for October, because I don't know what breaks we'll take in between, but I have 2 books per month. We should be spending about 2 weeks per book, except Salamander Room. I went ahead and said that I would be doing for 3 weeks because that's gonna involve a lot of different science and nature study things. I believe we're gonna be doing a whole bunch of stuff for Salamander Room for 5 in a row. And then before 5 in a row for Annie, I did the same thing. I just picked 2 books per month. And then she's gonna be doing How to Make an Apple Pie and See the World with us. I think we're just gonna pause regular school in general and just do this as a full family because we really love that book. So the first stage of me planning for a 12-week term is just to pick all of our books out. And then I start planning individual books. I get all of my manuals out here. And this is the part that's gonna take me a while. I started working on this a few days ago. Essentially, this is the lesson planning sheet that's in the back of the book, of each book. And I don't follow a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday schedule in our homeschool anyway. We generally have 1 day off a week, and then Fridays are our fun Fridays. And Fun Friday used to be the day we would do 5 in a row, and we would just do the same book for a whole month, but I'm gonna be incorporating it back kind of into our daily rhythm. So instead I took white out and I took away the days of the week, and I just put the different subjects. So we have history, geography, or social studies. We have language arts, science, art, and math. And I don't necessarily pick the same number for each category, the same number of projects. Sometimes I don't even have some in a certain category, but we have our own, you know, reading curriculum and science curriculum. I just kind of like to spread out what they're doing in the books anyway. Some books are heavier on the history, some books are heavier on science or art. So I just kind of go through and pick what I want to be doing. So I go through the book and I pick a few of the projects, write the page numbers down, and then I will go through and make a supply list. And then I'll show you as I'm prepping anything that I already have on hand or that I can grab while I'm out. I'll go ahead and put in a bin and I'll check it off as something we already have. Otherwise, when I pull this out of the folder, I'll see what's not checked that I still need to gather to do that unit, which is just helpful. And then I also have books down here of anything additional that, you know, I'd like to bring in as a supplement. But then I don't overschedule because I would like to be able to get to that point. Say like in September, I find a great resource. I'd like to be able to still kind of manipulate this to work how I want it to work for our family versus being so overscheduled that I have no wiggle room. Then when we get closer to that time, what I'll do is I'll go through here in this is my in advance planner, and I'll plug in the days that we're planning to do 5 in a row that week. I'll plug in which projects we're doing. So I don't plan out what days and what we're doing ahead of time. I just plan out the general the projects and the discussions I want to have, and then as I get into the nitty-gritty planning a couple weeks ahead of time, I'll plug everything in. So I just kind of do this in stages. So stage 1 is pick the books, stage 2 is plug all this in, figure out what I want to do, 3 would be gathering supplies, and then stage 4 is like right about when I'm about to actually teach this unit study, getting the rest of the supplies and plugging it on in. So I will walk you through a little bit of this planning process now, and then I'll show you in a few days when I have the supplies gathered, kind of what it looks like. All right, then the next thing that I shouldn't be doing, but I do all the time, is after I figure out everything that I want from the manuals, if I want to beef it up a little bit, which I want to do more for Blueberries for Sal with Annie than what's in the manual. So then I will start and save, I'll start saving some things on Pinterest, which I need to do a better job with. So if you guys want, I will link my Pinterest account down below if you want to find some of my 5 in a row boards. All right, so here are some of the things I grabbed from Target. These are just for all the various activities we'll be doing. These are things I didn't think, now these actually I didn't grab from Target. I've kept these in my closet for a while, knowing that I would need them for this unit or for this semester. But these are just various things that I knew we didn't have on hand and likely wouldn't randomly have on hand by the time we do this unit. Things like multicolored pom-pom balls and multicolored tissue. This is just me being super, I don't know. I have nicer black tea, so I don't want the kids to use black tea for projects like to age the Constitution or the Declaration of Independence. I don't want them to use my nice tea, so I just bought this for crafting. Things like this, we don't use shaving cream like that and stuff for projects that we just wouldn't have on hand. So then what I'm gonna do, everything else is either like something I would buy fresh, like blueberries for Annabeth, or flour that we already have on hand, or just like glue or scissors or things we already have. So then what I'll do is I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna file all these different lesson plans and label these, and I will mark off whether or not we already have this item. So when I put these pom-poms in the storage bin, I'm just gonna mark off pom-poms. So when it comes time to do this lesson, I'll pick this up and I'll know exactly what I need to put on our grocery list for the week or what I need to prepare that we don't already have on hand. And then I'll just open up the bin and know that I have stuff in there already. I'm also gonna go around the house and gather up some other things that we do have that we won't be using except for 5 in a row, just to keep everything in one place. And that just helps keep everything in line. And then the only other thing I'm gonna do is I'm just going to get on the computer as soon as I'm done with all this, and I'm just gonna print off any additional activities. So for example, for Paul Revere's ride, I know that I'm going to need some, where is it? Maybe I didn't write it down. I'm gonna need some math riddles. I'm gonna need copies of some of the Declaration of Independence. So I'm gonna go ahead and print off anything that needs printing, and I'm gonna file it in this folder alongside of it. So I'm gonna get that done, and then the last thing I'll do before I let y'all go is I'm just gonna show you for when we start school what I've plugged into our planner. So here is my planner. We've actually done a few days worth of work already, so what I do is I take the lists that I filed away, and as we come up to that week in school, I'm looking at this 5 in a row column. This is my Ann Advance planner. I've made a whole 5 in a row column and a preschool column for before 5 in a row, and I just look at our schedule as a whole and pick the days that will be best to plug in some 5 in a row. So on this week we're doing 2 days, next week we're doing 3 days of 5 in a row, and then I like to leave some days empty either for, you know, extenuating circumstances. If we didn't do something the day before, then we can finish it the next day, or just to leave that space in our schedule for what I call my office hours, which you guys might have seen in our schedule video, which is for the kids to sit with me and get any additional help with any other work like math or reading or anything else that they need help with for the week. And then for Annie, we do a preschool hour every single morning, but sometimes it's a 5 in a row. So you see blueberries for Sal there, blueberries for Sal, and I put the activity, and some days it's just doing some numbers or coloring. And then so then I'll just go through on those lists that I showed you, and I'll cross things out as I add them to this calendar, so I know when I'm planning for the next week what I need to add on to the calendar, and then that's it. So I hope that was helpful. I know it was super casual, but I just wanted to give you a realistic view of what it's like for me to plan. If you guys like this video and you enjoy videos like this, give it a thumbs up and let me know down in the comments below if you guys use 5 in a row in your home, and if so, what books you have on your agenda. Oh, one more thing before I go. If you want to try 5 in a row, instead of having to buy the whole manual, they do have mini units online that are 5 in a row mini units, and they also have extensions for before 5 in a row and beyond 5 in a row. So that is essentially ages 2 all the way through the end of middle school. If you guys want to try one out for $10, I believe, is the cost of the unit instead of investing in the whole unit. So I'll put the link below for that for you guys as well. All right, now I'm going. See you later. Bye.